Readings from Fath Rabbani, the Sublime Revelation by Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani. First Discourse. These words were spoken by our master, Sheikh Muhyiddin Abu Muhammad Abdul Qadir, may Allah be pleased with him, in the guest house Rabat, in the early morning of Sunday, the 3rd of Shawwal, in the year of the Hijrah, 545. To remonstrate with the Lord of Truth, Almighty and glorious is He, when the divine decrees descend from on high, is the death of religion, deen, the death of affirmation, of unity, tawheed, the death of absolute trust, tawakkul, and of sincerity, ikhlas. The heart of the believer knows not why and how. It does not know, it simply says, yes, indeed. The self, nafs, in its entirety is contumacious and contentious, so anyone who wishes to correct it must struggle with it until he is safe from its mischief. The whole of it is evil within evil, but when it has been fought and has come to be at peace, it is wholly transformed into good within good. It becomes compliant with all it is required to obey, and with the abandonment of all sinful disobedience, so now it will be told, O soul at peace, return unto your Lord well pleased, well pleasing. From Surah 89, Ayah 27 and 28. It experiences a rightful yearning, as its evil departs from it, and it loses all attachment to created things, proving its descent from our father Ibrahim, alayhi wasallam, for he forsook his own self and remained unaffected by passion. His heart was quite calm. All kinds of created things came to him and offered to put themselves at his disposal, but he would say, I do not want your assistance. His knowledge of my condition is enough for me without my asking. Because his submission and trust were genuine, the fire was told, be coolness and safety for Ibrahim. Surah 21, Ayah 63. For one who is patient with him, the help of Allah Almighty and glorious is He in this world is without reckoning, and His blessings in the hereafter are without reckoning. As Allah, exalted is He, has said, surely the patient will be paid their wages in full, without reckoning. From Surah 39, Ayah 10. Nothing is hidden from Allah, especially not the burdens borne by those who suffer for His sake. Be patient with Him for an hour, and you will see His grace and favor for years. Courage is an hour's patience. Surely Allah is with those who are patient. From Surah 2, Ayah 153. He gives them succor and success. Be patient with Him. Wake up to Him. Do not be unaware of Him, and do not leave your awakening until after death, for it will not profit you to wake up at that moment. Wake up to Him before the meeting with Him. Wake up before you are awakened involuntarily, and then feel remorse at a time when remorse will not avail you. Improve your hearts, for when they are improved, you will experience improvement in all your circumstances. That is why the Prophet ﷺ has said, in the son of Adam, there is a morsel of flesh. When it is in good order, the rest of his body will match its fitness, and when it is unsound, the rest of his body will match its unsoundness. This, of course, is the heart. End of quote. The fitness of the heart is maintained through pious devotion, absolute trust in Allah, Almighty and glorious is He, the affirmation of His oneness, and sincerity in practice, while its unsoundness is due to the absence of all of this. The heart is a bird in the cage of the physical body, like a pearl in a casket, like money in a safe. So value must be attached to the bird, and not to the cage, to the pearl, and not to the casket, to the money, and not to the safe. O Allah, employ our limbs and organs in your obedient service, and our hearts in your intimate knowledge. Employ us throughout our lives by night and by day. Join us with our predecessors among the righteous. Provide us with sustenance as you provided them with sustenance, and be for us as you were for them. Amen. O my people, be for Allah, almighty and glorious is He, as the righteous ones have been for Him, so that He may be for you as He has been for them. If you want the Lord of truth, almighty and glorious is He, to be with you, devote yourselves to His obedient service, to patience with Him, and to willing acceptance of His workings in you and in others. The people of righteousness have renounced this world, received their allotted shares thereof with a hand of piety and a cautious reserve, then sought the hereafter and performed its works. They have disobeyed their own selves and obeyed their Lord. Almighty and glorious is He. They have admonished their own selves, then admonished the selves of others. O young man, admonish your own self-trust, and then admonish the self of another. Attend to the business of your own self. Do not turn your attention to anyone else as long as you have anything left that will need to be corrected. Woe unto you! Do you know how to save someone else? You are blind, so how can you lead another? It takes a person endowed with eyesight to lead people, and an expert swimmer to save them from the ocean. Only someone who knows Him well can bring people back to Allah. Almighty and glorious is He. As for someone who is ignorant of Him, how could he show the way? You have no say in the conduct of Allah. Almighty and glorious is He. You must love Him and work for Him, not for anyone other than Him, and of Him and no other you must be afraid. This must be in the heart, not in the wagging of the tongue. This must be in private, not in public. When there is affirmation of oneness at the door of the house and idolatry inside the house, this is sheer hypocrisy. Woe unto you! Your tongue is pure while your heart is depraved. Your tongue gives thanks while your heart protests. O Allah, almighty and glorious as He has said, O son of Adam, my goodness is descending toward you, while idolatry is ascending toward me. Hadith Kursi. Woe unto you! You pretend to be His servant while you obey others apart from Him. If you were His servant in reality, you would disobey them and follow Him. The fully convinced believer does not obey his own self, his devil, and his passions. He does not even acknowledge Satan, that he should obey him. He does not concern himself with this world, that he should be subjected to it, but rather spurns it and seeks the hereafter. If it comes his way, he therefore renounces it and cleaves to his Master. Almighty and glorious is He, dedicating his worshipful service to Him alone at all times, heeding His words. Almighty and glorious is He. And they have been commanded only to serve Allah, making the religion His sincerely, as men of pure faith. From Surah 98, Ayah 55. Desist from idolizing creatures, calque, and confirm the oneness of the Lord of truth, Haq. Almighty and glorious is He, for He is the Creator, Khalik, of all things whatsoever, and in His hands are all things whatsoever. O seeker of things from others, you must be out of your mind. Is there anything that is not within the storerooms of Allah? Almighty and glorious is He. As Allah, Almighty and glorious is He, has said, and not there is, but with us are the stores thereof. Surah 15, Ayah 21. O young man, sleep beneath the roof gutter of destiny, using patience as a pillow, girding yourself with willing compliance, serving in expectation of happy relief. For if you behave like this, He who determines destiny will shower you with His grace and favor beyond what you are capable of seeking or desiring. O my people, conform to the divine power Qadir. Partial reading from the first discourse.